Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. I've had quite a few comments and questions about how I learn to crochet with my left hand. So I thought I would answer a little bit of that, and maybe we could go along and you guys can learn to use your non-dominant hand. As you can see, I'm working on a baby hat. And I'm using my left hand. So I'm going to pull this up. Normally, I crochet with my right hand. But I knew it was going to be a long time before I could crochet with this hand because of the ulnar nerve issue. And, when I first talked with the doctors, it didn't look good. Looked like it could be not just, a couple of months to 6 months to a year to possibly never. But I love crochet. It's my preferred yarn hobby, if you will. So I thought I'm going to need to learn to crochet with my left hand, at least in the interim. So what I first did is I looked at the way that I hold my crochet hook, and I realized since I hold it pretty much like a knife that I wasn't going to be able to learn to crochet left-handed, using it this way. So I just started practicing holding it in my left hand. A couple times during the day I'd pick it up, and in my mind I would do the stitches that I would be doing. And I gotta tell you, single crochet is not too hard. Half double crochet was a little more difficult, but once I got it down, double crochet was easy. The unraveled mitten, the second block, uses triple crochet. That was a little more difficult. Took a lot of time. But yeah, I have mastered it. But basically I just started doing that, holding it in my left hand. Imagining that I had the yarn, and I was going to have to learn to hold my yarn with my right hand. So I got used to playing and pretending like I was holding. And then I, grabbed a piece of yarn and thought, okay, I know how I normally used to make slip knots, which basically just twist the yarn and pull it through. I know a lot of other people do it other ways, but that was something that I was used to doing. And then you just tighten it down. And then, figured, well, I'll just kind of hold my crochet like this and start with a chain. And I realized that's not going to be as easy as I thought it was. But I learned to do that a little bit, and what I was doing was, okay, this is manageable. Now what you'll notice is, with my left hand, I don't need to use that silicone little glove, because yarn's not in that hand, up against that, rubbing it. And I thought, oh, that's kind of nice, not having to wear that because it gets all hot and sweaty. And then, after I made a chain, I thought, well, I need to learn to crochet back into that. I like to do the hump. So I thought, well, I need to find the hump, learn how to do that. Do a single crochet. And as you can see, A lot of it is just practicing. And you'll see I have some trouble with this because my tension is tighter. And I found that rather interesting, that my tension was tighter. So I thought, okay, I can't do the back bump, so I'll just go through 2. Oops. Go through 2, practice that. As you can see, I still have a little bit of trouble with that chain. And a lot of it is figuring it out, getting it through there. And as you can see, I still have some troubles, but it's all about practicing. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to practice with some chains. Chains are hard for me, and that is because of how tight I am crocheting. However, and this is the funny thing, crochet 2, I found that the foundation chain, once I get that first stitch started, and you can see that a lot of it is hard for me, that first stitch, because it's so tight. Okay, there's that. Of course, you got to chain 1, then you go through the 2, and of course it's still tight. But what I found is if I keep practicing, it gets easier. But like I said, that's a lot of it, is practicing. You know? And then if I got a stitch that was being stubborn, I cheated. I'd pull that over. Nobody said it was wrong to do that. But it's practice, people. When we first started crocheting, with whatever hand we started with, it looked stupid. It was hard. It was tight. It was awkward. It was uncomfortable. But eventually we got it. I've had 55 plus years using this hand. So there's no reason for me to think this hand was going to be easy. But basically, it's about practicing and continuing to practice. Thing that I found hard was right-handed. I would normally do like this to start the magic ring, and then go in, pull my loop through, chain 1, and start crocheting. I thought, well, surely that's got to work the same way with the left hand. No, it does not. So a lot of it is just learning some of those tips and tricks to crochet. Practicing, a lot of practice. You know, I'm finding baby beanies helps with the practicing. Doing the unraveled mitten, those blocks is helping a lot with practice. So yeah, I am going to attempt to start a shawl this week. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm willing to give it a try, you know, because it's going to be a long haul for this hand. So don't be afraid to try something different. Crochet is my preferred yarn hobby, so I will continue to do that. I do know that even when I do the loom knitting, I'm using my right hand. And the doctor, when I saw yesterday, Don't have to wear that bulky brace anymore. She did mention that as long as I continue to use this right hand, it'll probably still be tender and sore for a little bit. And I said, yeah, I tried loom knitting. She asked me, well, which hand are you picking the yarn over? And I said, my right hand. She said, didn't we discuss this? You need to do your left hand. You need to work with your left hand. So, now I'm learning to loom knit with my left hand. It's ugly. It's very slow. So, yeah. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Saw her Friday and afternoon, and she said, yeah, it's still gonna be a little while. Get used to using that left hand. So that's what I'm doing. I hope that if you ever have an injury, that you will be adventurous enough to try to learn to use your non-dominant hand, and to realize that when you are using your non-dominant hand, it's like it really is starting all over. So it's going to be like those first time you were learning to crochet with the right hand or your dominant hand. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be slow, be angry, but you'll get it. So, yeah, keep after it, and I'll see you again soon.